Welcome to McFarland Lake. We're doing a wood stove install. This is actually a wood stove insert installation, Osborne unit. We're going to be putting it into this existing masonry fireplace right here. In this fireplace we have a metal back heatilator system, so there may be some cutting required to do that job. There's going to be a liner coming down from the top. It's a full liner that goes through the smoke chamber all the way up to the chimney itself, and then there's a termination at the end of that. Excellent heat source. This one here we're looking at probably about 10% of heat source that's being recovered. When we put the installation of the insert in here, we're going to be looking at about a 65 to 70% recovery of heat from the wood burning unit. So that's going to be a big dramatic difference. Going to give the homeowner a lot more heat, a lot more comfortability in her house in the wintertime, and it's going to look really nice, and it's going to last a lot longer too when the wood's in there. So this is just the beginning stages here. We're going to first of all clean the entire fireplace itself, smoke chamber, as well as the flue system, and then we're going to take it from there. We're going to start putting things in, run the liners. So we'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so here's another portion of the installation that we're doing for the wood stove insert. Basically what we're doing is we're going to have to put a 6-inch stainless steel liner down here. It's outside, we got it out of the box, and we're going to show you what that looks like and everything else a little bit later on. But right for now, this, like I said earlier, is a metal heatilator insert. So it's metal surrounding the actual entire perimeter of the firebox here. It's not going to allow us to do a proper installation of the liner, so we're going to have to notch out a portion of the steel box. This is acceptable to code as long as we block that up, the airspace up after we're done. Sometimes basically it's the only way you could do it. Quite often it's the only way you could do it. So after we do this job though, it's going to pretty much render this fireplace inoperable to go back to this system. It's pretty much after that, it could be good for either a gas insert or wood insert only, but to operate as a existing fireplace like it was before, that's not going to be able to pretty much to happen. There's once that firebox is cut out of there, it's no longer code for that application. So we got our torches here. Got our safety equipment on. We checked all the gaskets and all the valves. We always open up, took out the damper assembly as it is. We're going to notch that out. Start with a little slow flame. Always exhaust it up the fireplace there. So we'll cut that out. We'll be right back with you. Slow. Alright, well here we are on top of the roof. This is one of the most enjoyable parts about the job. We get to enjoy this excellent and wonderful scenery here in Northern Ontario. Sudbury, Ontario is where we're from. Alternative energy systems. And we're up on the roof here. We're going to put this liner in. We've already ovalized it like we said down there. We're going to drop it through. This here is 8x12 chimney. It's a little bigger than the newer chimneys. They kind of went smaller throughout the years, but this one here is a little bit bigger. This one here is a good example of a 8x8 chimney. So that's something that we would typically use, that rigid liner that we were talking about down there on the bottom. It's just going to give pretty much a straight way down. If the guy did a problem with his offsets on his clay tiles, it's not going to go down so easy. So that's why we like to use the rigid liner. You can kind of twist it, and it gives it actually, because this is corrugated, this is almost another ½ inch bigger than the other 6-inch liner. So that rigid liner sometimes has a really good application for this here job. Today, rigid liner down here, all the way down to the bottom. We've already cleaned the chimney, which is important to do. We don't want any carcinogenics left inside the chimney. We want a nice clean start from a clean job, so that there's no dust in the house that doesn't need to be. Customer's happy about that, and that's the way we like to do things. Our motto is job always done right. So we're going to run the liner down there. We're going to make our hook up on the bottom. We'll see you inside. we'll get our man down inside there pulling on the other end. That's why I made that strip, kind of help it along. Okay, this is basically the strip that we put on here. Put the little rope attachment there to help guide the liner down inside. So we've achieved the liner inside the firebox there. That's going to be hooking up to the wood stove insert here in a little minute. So as we're going on, all these little steps basically create the job, make the job the right way. We like to make sure we clean up all the time as we go. Every different step of the job, we just like to do a little tidy up there. We're working with a lot of dust. We don't like to keep that in the lady's house, customer's house. We've also put down a shielding here, a metal shielding on the bottom here. This is going to protect the hearth from any scratches or whatnot when we're putting the installation of the wood stove insert. So it's not a speedy process. Basically, what we like to do is just take the right amount of time that we like that needs to be taken to do a proper and safe job and a proper application.
I can see it. It looks good.
Good. Okay, hit.
Ready?
Yep.
Go.
Action. Action is the word we're looking for. Go.
Action.
All right. Okay, so we made our wood stove installation here. There's a wood stove insert installation. This is a Osborne 2000. And basically just wanted to point it out here that now we have the liner coming all the way down from the top of the actual chimney itself running through the flue. And it's connected now to the top of this. So this system here is going to negate all this smoke chamber that used to be there and the flue and everything else like that. So if there's any minute cracks or anything like that inside the flue, now this is going to remedy that. Now you have a good safe environment for the smoke to go up, exit the home with no other problems of any kind of breach or anything, any gaps in the system. So now when we clean the system from now on out, it's going to be from the top down. And then the brush would go right inside the firebox here. So it's a nice system, nice way to go, and she's going to save a pile of wood and it's going to be a much more efficient system. We're just kind of putting it in its place right now. We're going to put the door on, we're going to put the blower on, we're going to put the trim on, all the shielding, and we're going to insulate the top as well as the bottom. It's going to be a much warmer environment for her as well. All right, so when we're done that, we'll come back and talk to you, let you know how it's turned out. So we've completed our installation here, the homeowner's house. We've put in the 2200 Osborne unit. Before we go, always we like to do a smoke test on the unit itself. There's a curing time for pretty much each unit has a certain amount of curing time that's needed to be done. This one here, over the next 4 hours, it's nice to keep it at a regular burn and then let it cool down, and that just kind of helps steel and whatnot move into place. Also, there's a little bit of smell sometimes when they're a brand new unit like that for the baking of the paint and everything else that's there. It's going to make a bit of an odor, but that's completely normal. Also, we like to wipe down the entire unit. Part of our service, we wipe it all down, make it nice and clean, make sure there's no natural oils or resins from your fingers that are going to actually burn into the steel and mar the steel. That's just the first time that you get the unit going. You're required to do that, and it just keeps it nice and clean and looks good for the homeowner. So there you go. Another fine installation done by Alternative Energy. Always done right the first time.